Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Sarita and I have a Yankee Candle haul for you today. There was a new, Yankee Candle tends to drop a new kind of like spring summer collection in January. There may be some few like limited edition things that come out, later in spring or summer. But generally speaking, this is kind of it right at the beginning of January. And it is an Italy destination collection. And I did go into a Yankee Candle store maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I did get the sneak preview of it. All they had was wax melts at the time, but now the candles have dropped to the store, and there was an amazing sale like a week ago. And the 3 wicks were on sale for $10.95, including the Italy ones. So I was very, very happy. And the shipping on it was free. At least once I put in my my member account or whatever else, And I do want to give Yankee Candle a shout out for that in a time when, frankly, companies are charging for shipping and charging a great deal for shipping. And don't get me wrong, I know the prices for shipping have gone through the roof. I don't necessarily grudge companies, passing some of that on to the consumer. But for those that have been able to offer reasonable or free shipping, I really think we need to kind of shout them out a little bit. So for whatever reasons, this was completely free, this box being sent to me. And like I said, I just want to say something about that. I actually ordered from a more mom and pop company in Ohio 2 weeks ago, and they charged me $15 to ship 10 wax melts. And that's kind of on the higher end for sure, but there's a lot of companies that are, charging for shipping. And I think it is kind of a little bit of a conundrum. It would be for me if I had a candle company, because while you don't want to eat that entire cost, and shipping candles especially can be extremely expensive, at the same time, as a consumer, and I'm a consumer along with all of you, shipping or not shipping fees sometimes make the difference between buying or ordering from a company and not ordering from them. I'm sure I have made that decision in the past about either ordering or not based on shipping costs. And so it's just really nice to see Yankee Candle shipping them to me for completely free, $10.95 a 3 wick. It's a fantastic price and a fantastic deal. So I just wanted to say that right off. So I haven't even opened this bad boy up yet. I'm gonna open it up with you. Like I said, I have smelled these in the store. My initial impressions were that it wasn't a brilliant collection, and there weren't really any candles that were groundbreaking, but that they were all fairly solid, and that one of them, the Pistachio Latte, is probably the real standout of the collection, and every bit as good as Bath & Body Works toasted pistachio, and who knows, maybe even better. I haven't burned it. I only bought the wax melts of the Pistachio Latte, and I did really like the way that it smelled and the way that it performed as a wax melt. So I'm really excited to have gotten the 3 wick and to be able to compare. So here's what it looks like, by the way, if you're curious as to how Yankee Candle is shipping their candles. They're doing so in these kind of cartons, basically taped up with a lot of packaging in between. So let's just go ahead and unbox these. And I'm hoping there are no casualties, but it kind of looks like not. So there's the clamshell right there. And then here is one of the 3 wicks. And this one is Azure Sky right here. So one thing I do have to say, even as I'm starting to take these out, this is a pretty good look for Yankee Candle. In terms of aesthetics and marketing, looking at it up close, it's a little cheaper than it looks on the website. It's very obvious that it's just kind of a plastic wraparound. Would I have loved a little bit of texture? Yes. So it's not quite as premium looking as like a Bath & Body Works would be, but this is a big step up from some of the 3-wick candle offerings that Yankee Candle has been giving us over the last year or so. And what I love about this collection is that the 2-wick tumblers are the same aesthetic, the same vibe, the same color wax. Like we don't have some like random aesthetic for this one, a random aesthetic for this collection, etc. They're all together. And in fact, as I introduce the candles, I'm gonna flash up on the screen what the 2 wicks look like. Not only the traditional apothecary design, but also what I called, not very nicely, the clip art trash cans. And I am so happy to say that they have done away, at least with this collection, of like the random crazy clip art all over the jar, which I just think is a huge mistake and looks super tacky. I guess they're just trash cans now. They're not clip art trash cans. And by the way, if you if you want to know why I call them trash cans, it's because I was showing this aesthetic to my sister. And of course we used to buy Yankee candles way back in the day. And she looked at it and she was like, she hadn't seen like the new Yankees for a while. And it was like, what kind of packaging is that? That looks so cheap and tacky. She's like, it looks like a Glade candle or something. I said, I know, you know? And then she was like, you know, it just looks like a little trash can with a metal lid on it. And it's stuck in my mind. So now I call them clip art trash cans. Now they're just trash cans though, because look at this. Here's Azure Sky in the, like, what used to be the clip art trash can, which is now just a trash can with a very nice little wraparound that again invokes the wraparound here on the 3-wick. It all looks cohesive. It looks thoughtful. It doesn't look crazy. It doesn't look like a 5-year-old used to their computer to just put random clip art all over the jar. I think it's a big step up. And I really hope that the clip art trash cans are gone for good. We'll just put up with regular trash cans now that look like as good as trash cans can look. You know what I mean? All right, so Azure Sky right there. And Azure Sky comes out not just in the trash can, but also in the classic apothecary, which looks like this. Again, really lovely. I personally, and you probably know this if you watched my Kringle candle remarks at the end of the January empties video, I personally think that the apothecary design has a great deal of like charm to it. Yes, it is country charm, and I'm not even a country girl, but there is something really nice about like the roundedness. I think it's a sleeker and like just nicer aesthetic than like the straight up and down tumbler. Certainly for Yankee, but I think even for Kringle, to be perfectly honest, I would be fine doing away with the like bulbous thing on top, you know? If they wanted to flatten that out and just make a more flat glass lid on those mason jars, I think that would actually be an improvement, especially if it was a certain kind of way that would make stacking them even much easier. I mean, stacking them is virtually impossible with that bulb on top. And so being able to stack them would be a real plus, and I wouldn't mind it streamlining the aesthetic a little bit, maybe modernizing it, but without losing those curves. I just think it's a lovely little aesthetic. So anyway, Yankee Candle, at least for the present, is sticking with those apothecary designs. So that's what that looks like. Here's a second candle. This one is Lemon Gelato right here in this stunning yellow wax. And all of them have these kind of brushed like copper lids or brass. Yeah, so Lemon Gelato right there. And the trash can one looks like this. And the apothecary one looks like this. Again, really nice, really summery, really seasonal, and the concept and the fragrance is great. So yes. Third candle here. There's 5 in this collection, by the way. Although, and I suppose I should have done a little bit more research on this, The word is that this next one, oh no, this is Pistachio Latte. The word is that one of them is a quote unquote online exclusive, but I was able to smell the wax melts in the store, so I don't really know if that's the case. Anyway, it's the olive and cypress one, which we're going to get to. And they did do that last January with the Under the Desert Sun collection when they gave us like the, what was it? It was like a Pine Canyon Trail, I think, or something like that. The Pine Canyon Trail candle was an online exclusive. I don't know why. I really don't. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have a Yankee Candle brick and mortar store in your neighborhood, you should be able to get everything. You know what I mean? What would actually make sense is for it to be a candle that's only in the brick and mortar stores. Was that it? Was it in the brick and mortar stores? If they were gonna make an exclusive, they should make one of them in the brick and mortar store. But I just think across the board, forget the exclusives. Just sell them to the consumer and be grateful if the consumer buys them. I think Yankee Candle's at that stage right now in their success initiative as a company. All right, so anyway, third candle, and I think this is a winner. Pistachio Latte right here. I actually wouldn't mind this being a little bit lighter of a color, but it's fine. It is pistachio-y. But I think if it was even lighter than this, it would not only be great for summer, but it would also allow cypress and olive to be kind of this color. Whereas I think they had to go quite a bit darker on the olive and cypress. Oh, here it is, here it is. Here's all, oh, by the way, Pistachio Latte looks like this in the trash cans, and it looks like this in the apothecary. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Olive and cypress, it is actually like almost exactly the same color. And that's why I think, I mean, very rarely does Yankee Candle make a misstep when it comes to colors. They're like professionals. They have been for years and decades. Yankee Candle has always been great with the colors and the colored waxes. This is an odd misstep for them in that these are the two shades of green. Yes, there is a difference, but like not enough of one, I think. And they're both lovely shades of green, but there really needs to be a better contrast between the two, especially given how similar those tiles are on both of them, just to distinguish them a little bit more. So we're nitpicking. It's probably the least of Yankee Candle's concerns at this point, but I do just want to kind of flag that. So the trash can classic tumbler looks like this, and the apothecary one looks like this. Again, just so beautiful. I'm very happy with the aesthetic on these. Last but not least is Capri Glow. I believe it's Capri, although I've heard this island pronounced as Capri as well. So I apologize if it is Capri and we just kind of, or perhaps it can be pronounced both ways. Maybe if you know, you can let me know. When I was watching Connor from Connor's Loves Candles, because he works for Yankee Candle, he mentioned that this was kind of the hero candle of the collection that was at least predicted to be the bestseller. Upon smelling them, I kind of don't think so. I think it's the Pistachio Latte one that's set up to be that hero fragrance, but I don't know. And he definitely knows more about Yankee Candle and about what is being talked about in the company. Really nice with that nice terracotta coral peach, really nice color wax there. And the trash can tumbler looks like this. And the apothecary looks like this. So really nice, right? I mean, doesn't that look good? It looks good. It's a great concept. It's seasonal. It's, yes. Once again, I feel like Yankee Candle is kind of starting out strong, and they did this last year. And then with each subsequent collection, they just decreased in like quality, in interest level, and by the end of the year, they were just like completely scraping the bottom of the barrel. And so there's part of me that's like, I'm not gonna be a fool this time. I mean, yes, they are starting out strong, but is this gonna be like 2024 part two. Like we're gonna have a strong January, a strong spring summer collection, and then just a steady decline from there on out. I hate to see them do that. On the other hand, if that's what happens, at least we got like a halfway decent collection out of them for the year. So there you go. All right, let's talk about these candles. Let's talk about how they smell. I printed out all of the scent notes here so that I can at least talk about them. Like I said, my first impressions though were that these candles were a little on the basic and predictable side, and that none of them were completely unique or groundbreaking, with the exception possibly of the Pistachio Latte, which does come on the heels of some offerings from Bath & Body Works. So even in that sense is not particularly groundbreaking. And even the Pistachio Latte fragrance is on the basic side. So I don't know that they necessarily swung for the fences on these candles. I actually think that Under the Desert Sun was a little bit more interesting than these. I also think that the Caribbean collection that dropped at Target initially last year had a couple really standout, sophisticated fragrances in them. And I don't know if there are any in this collection, but like I said, not a bad collection. It's got range, it's got color, it like looks great and feels great just across the board. And I think that there are, I mean, if I remember correctly, none of them smell bad. None of them smell bad. And that in and of itself is a success. I mean, because there were several candles in that Christmas collection that were horrendous. I'm looking at you, Parisian Buffet or whatever that one was, Parisian Brunch. Wow, that candle was like horrible. I mean, I would just grimace every time I lifted the lid and smell that candle. So by no means should we underrate the fact that none of these smell bad. Just overtly bad. All right, so let's start out with lemon because it's sitting right in front of me. Here is lemon gelato, and if you can see that label, it's got this like little like old-fashioned hand cart here that's selling apparently lemon gelato in a somewhat, oh, there's an olive tree back there too. It's kind of a nice little scene. It's drawn by hand though. I mean, it's not a particularly sophisticated thing. And the tiles, to be perfectly honest, are a little bit cartoony graphic, but they look good, and it especially looks good from afar, which is quite nice because often you do kind of set your candle up in the room and you watch it from afar, you know. So I think they do look really great from afar. And again, the colored wax, it's a yes. It's an absolute yes for me. I'm a colored wax girl, no question. And I think if you're gonna do a colored wax, you should have a good deal of your candle be transparent so that you can really kind of highlight that color. All right, forgive me. I have a call coming in that I need to take. So I'm going to ring off first. Okay, I'm back with my hair down. Oh, I look like a mess today. But you guys aren't here for that. You're here for candles. All right, so we were talking about lemon gelato. So here's lemon gelato right here. And let's look at the notes. The notes online for this bad boy. Here we go. It has a like scent story too. So this is a citrus fragrance, by the way. If you didn't know that, Yankee wants you to know it's a citrus fragrance. The scent story is: cool down your Sicilian summer afternoon with a delicious frozen dessert, complete with scents of icy lemon, sweet gelato, and fizzy citrus. So the top notes are iced lemon, lime, and black currant. Mid notes are strawberry, marshmallow, and blackberry. Base notes are vanilla, sweet gelato, musky woods, and sugared citrus. Okay, so that's a lot. The strawberry makes me pause a bit. But you know what it is? Kringle has been using strawberry in a few of their fragrances over the last couple of years. It's disgusting. But I'm not really smelling a whole lot of Oh, now that I think about strawberry. And melon, kind of melon. Is there a melon in here? Strawberry, blackberry, currant, lemon, lime, marshmallow. Maybe it's the marshmallow. So I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a little bit of a candied fragrance for sure. This is a fragrance though that you would, it's a good inclusion into this catalog because not only is it summery, but this smells like Easter candy for sure. This would be a fantastic candle for Easter. So I don't know if they were thinking, you know, with that in mind, but really smart if they were. It kind of reminds you of the Peeps a little bit, but it's not that synthetic. And the lemon lime kind of accord that they've got here is in fact high citrus and candied, but for some reason it just doesn't come across as synthetic as you would think. You guys know I have a very little tolerance for candy fragrances, for candied lemon fragrances, for sparkling fragrances, etc. And actually, I kind of like this candle. It's one of those candles, it's a candle in the, I bought all 5 because I just wanted to talk about them on camera, fully expecting to like return a few of them. And this one I was going to return, but to be honest, I'm almost considering holding on to it. So if that's not a vote of confidence, I don't know what else is. What I appreciate here is Bath & Body Works has this very sparkly soda pop kind of citrus note that I can't stand. I can't stand their like fizzy champagne pop kind of fragrance note. And I don't know that Yankee has successfully developed one, which I'm very happy with. So while it says, didn't it say bubbly in here? Oh, it says fizzy citrus in the scent story, although it doesn't reiterate it in the scent notes. I don't know that there's any fizziness in this, and thank God. And thank God. I'm not getting a whole lot of fizzy or sparkly carbonation here, which is what is making kind of that candied lemon lime / possibly a strawberry melon marshmallow pop. It's making it work. It's making it work because I just think that the fizziness would like just take it way over the top. It's a mid-range candle, and I really appreciate that. I think the fizziness would take it way up into the stratosphere, I think. And the fact that they were able to kind of keep the sugar down in a lower register is helping tremendously. I don't think it smells like a gelato of any kind. If it's a gelato, it's definitely not an authentic Italian one, if you know what I mean. This is a candy. This is a candied kind of fragrance rather than like a sophisticated, you know, ice of any kind. I don't even know if it's a sherbet, to be perfectly honest. Although maybe. It's a very candied fragrance, but it works. It really works. I think a lot of people are gonna like it. And like I said, if this doesn't smell like Easter morning, I don't really know what else does. It's a nice fragrance. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it, but the fact that I'm even contemplating keeping it kind of tells you. So there you got it. Really nice colored wax, beautifully centered wicks. So far, it seems like Yankee does not have as much of a problem as Bath & Body Works keeping their wicks centered. All right, let's move on. Let's move on from lemon to this one, which is, I think, one of the best in the collection, Pistachio Latte right here. I did already melt this in wax melts, and I was impressed with it. So pistachio, they categorize this as a sweet and spicy fragrance, which I don't know that I agree with. It is a sweet, it's a gourmandy fragrance for sure. So the scent story is grab a quick pick-me-up at a Roman coffee bar where notes of pistachio, creamy coconut milk, and sugared vanilla swirl together in a sumptuous concoction. Top notes are almond milk, crushed pistachio. Mid notes are marshmallow, coconut milk, and sugar. Base notes are amber, musk, and sugared vanilla. Okay. It's a really nice fragrance. Guys, you're gonna like this one. I like this one. I don't have a, oh, I do have it. I have yet to review this candle because I'm still waiting to review it because we're gonna have mini pistachio week. But I did burn one of these. This is pistachio plus toasted vanilla from Bath & Body Works. And, oh, man, that's a lot of soot. So it's harder for me to get a good read on it. But I remember when I bought the wax melts, the Yankee wax melts, I hadn't burned this one yet, so I was able to compare the wax melts and this Bath & Body Works candle together. And it did seem to me that the Yankee Candle one was maybe a touch more perfumey, but also more roasty, toasty, and nutty as well. So it just seemed bigger and louder, frankly, than the Bath & Body Works one. The Bath & Body Works one was... It's Bath & Body Works one still has kind of a perfumey amber body care creamy nuance to it, but it's more of a back element than in this one. But like I said, across the board, the Yankee one just seemed to be louder. Now, all bets off when you burn it. I mean, just because it's loud on cold does not necessarily mean that it's going to be loud once burned. This smells fantastic. I mean, it's roasty, toasty, pistachio. I believe the almond milk, the almond milk could be there too because it is a nuttiness. It's a very round nuttiness. I mean, it's got that sweet green pistachio note, especially as a back note. But what starts out is kind of like a more generic, toasty, like almond or even peanut. I mean, it's just it's a flash of that toasted nut. And then it kind of morphs into that amazing creamy green pistachio. Oh, it's fantastic. It's really fantastic. And then the underside of it is like this amazing amber, creamy, like shea butter kind of like half perfume. So it's not maybe a true gourmand all the way across the board, but let's put it this way. I would say that the Bath & Body Works candle to me seems about 80% toasted pistachio, 20% body care. Once it's burned, I would say that it upticks to at least a 30% body care to like, you know, a 70% gourmand. Smelling this Yankee one, to be perfectly honest, maxing out, I'm getting like a 30-70. I'm getting a 70% gourmand nut, 30% shea butter kind of perfume. So maybe a little bit more shea perfume, but a really impressive amount of authentic toasted pistachio nut. It's fantastic. And it's not runaway sweet. So even though it mentions, the mid notes are marshmallow and sugar. And then the bottom notes are sugared vanilla. So they are emphasizing sugar, and maybe the sugar will come out more upon it being burned. But unlike the lemon gelato, this one almost seems, those toasted nuts are almost savory. I mean, they are really, it's both this one and the lemon gelato, frankly, are impressive in their sugar balance. Lemon gelato is essentially a candy fragrance that like somehow manages to balance the sugar and not make it a shock to the senses. There's almost something a little bit aquatic and melon-like about this, which I think is cutting some of the sugar as well. Where is my, was there any iced lemon, musky woods? I don't know. There's almost an aquatic note, but like I said, it could just be a very aquatic leaning fruit like a melon. And I think it really considerably helps cut some of that like high candied sugar lemon. At any rate, Pistachio Latte is really impressive. I was impressed with the strength and throw on the wax melts, and not all wax melts perform well, at least from Yankee Candle. So I thought those did. I'm really excited about this candle. I'm gonna start burning it up like right away so that we can have a mini pistachio week. So there you go. Yes, I do highly recommend the pistachio one. And unless it performs abysmally, I think it'll probably be the standout in the collection. All right, this one is supposed to be a standout as well. This is Capri Glow with this stunning coral. Look at that. Yeah, when I smell it, I'm like, I think this is a Sol de Janeiro dupe. And in fact, hold again. Pistachio Milk and Honey from Bath & Body Works seems like a Sol de Janeiro dupe too. This is an even better Sol de Janeiro dupe. All right, so, I mean, spoiler alert, because I haven't reviewed this one either. It's for mini pistachio week. This is Pistachio Milk and Honey, which is a new one from Bath & Body Works. I didn't notice it initially when I picked it up in the store, but this is just straight up a Sol de Janeiro dupe. And once it was burned, again, some of the toasty nuttiness kind of sunk into the candle a little bit, and then just kind of the amber and caramel started to come out a little bit more, so that it was much more obvious upon it being burned that it was a Sol de Janeiro dupe. This one doesn't have the obvious nuttiness. This one actually is even more spot on for Sol de Janeiro, because Sol de Janeiro, while it says it has pistachio in it, for me, it's not a roasty, toasty, obvious nutty pistachio. The way that, like, at least the top notes are here on the Pistachio Milk and Honey. This is much closer to what Sol de Janeiro smells like, which is a very refined kind of pistachio oil, mixed in with a lot of amber, probably some sandalwood, a lot of vanilla, like a carameled, brassy kind of almost floral note. Yes, like a neroli, etc. So let's look at the notes on this one. I mean, how can you give the top marks to a candle that's an obvious dupe? This is happening a lot with a lot of companies, and not just in home fragrance and in the candle world. It's happening in the cosmetics world as well. Companies are not being as creative or original or innovative as they could be. They're basically finding there'll be like some viral product, and then just everybody gives their own version of it. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan of it. I'm really not. We're like in dupe city right now. Like, nobody wants to actually create the next Baccarat Rouge. They just want to dupe it. Like, but why? We really only need like one dupe of Baccarat Rouge, not like 17. Use your creative energies elsewhere. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, so here's the blurb. This is supposed to be a sweet and spicy fragrance. Again, I don't know where they're getting with the spicy. There's nothing spicy about it, unless you consider citrus to be spicy, but I wouldn't. All right, so here's the scent story on Capri Glow. Bask in the summer glow of Capri's sandy beaches with the scents of sun-kissed amber, frangipani blossoms, and a splash of citrus zest. So your top notes are citrus zest, bitter orange, and myrtle. Mid notes are African orange flower, neroli blossom, frangipani. Base notes are sun-kissed amber, bleached woods, sheer musk, and macadamia. So there's the nut influence. There is the macadamia, which they're saying is not pistachio, but it could very well be pistachio. And it does, to me, smell a little bit more like a pistachio than a macadamia. A macadamia is going to give like a buttery nuttiness to this. And for me, this, like I said, is almost a spot-on Sol de Janeiro dupe, which is a pistachio. That's the note that's in the Sol de Janeiro. Their main flagship fragrance. There's a great deal more floral in this than in like the milk pistachio from Bath & Body Works, along with the amber, with the caramel. Yeah, I mean, it's a body care kind of fragrance, and for my money, it's a Sol de Janeiro dupe. So there you go. Do you want a Sol de Janeiro candle? It's Capri Glue. Capri Glue. Capri Glow from Yankee Candle. I'm sorry. I can't get wowed over this. I'm sorry. I refuse. At this stage in the game, like, I'm beginning to be over it with the dupes. And no, I'm not going to give you high marks for duping somebody else's product. I'm just not. I really think Sol de Janeiro is starting to be a bit played out. Bahama Beach Bum, that candle that they put in their Target line in the summer, was fantastic. Fantastic. It was like basically the Palo Santo note from Bath & Body Works combined with like coconut and amber and vanilla and like all the things. It was fantastic. It was a fantastic candle. I've talked about this one till I'm blue in the face. This one is one that Bath & Body Works should scoop, and they should call it Palo Santo Sands. That's an actually good candle. It's still basic and fundamental in terms of like, you know, beach genre and home fragrance, but it was an excellent fragrance. I give that much higher marks than like this candle called Capri Glow, which is just a dupe of Sol de Janeiro. Like, God bless. If it performs well, then it is what it is. But even it performs flawlessly. I mean, exactly how many brownie points are we going to give Yankee Candle? All right. It remains true so far. I think Pistachio Latte is the standout here. But let's talk, because we have 2 more candles left to go. All right, here's this one. Azure Sky. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, and I should have checked. I think it's Azure, right? Azure? No, I think it's Azure. Azure. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's like a shade of blue, right? Azure Sky. Yeah. And here you go. That's what it looks like. It's giving me St. Lucia Skies, which was also in that collection from Target. I like this one better than St. Lucia Skies, which was essentially an aquatic laundry care kind of fragrance. Yeah, this fragrance isn't bad. It's not brilliant. It smells like a Bath & Body Works kind of candle. Very commercial in the same way that like Aloe and Agave was. But it's not the most boring candle in the world. You know what I mean? There's a whole hell of a lot of boring candles on the floor at Bath & Body Works right now. A whole hell of them. I mean, like, more than I could count on 2 hands of boring candles at Bath & Body Works. And some of them are brand new fragrances. They're terrible. I think this one is better than, like, all the new candles that are on the floor from Bath & Body Works right now. No question. This is essentially an aquatic with, it's an aquatic conceptual with a little bit of a body care note and a little bit of a fruity finish with something that is possibly a little bit mineral herby, just a little bit, which is nice and makes it a little bit less generic. It's still a fairly generic fragrance, but like I said, better than a whole lot of candles at Bath & Body Works right now. All right, so this is apparently a floral fragrance. I just said it was an aquatic. I think it's more of an aquatic. Yes, it does have floral in it, but it's like an aquatic floral. Yeah. With a fruity mineral finish, like a seaweed finish. So here's the scent story. Aromas of fresh mango, sweet coconut cream, and solar tuberose. Oh, I love tuberose. Waft through the air, washing over you like a gentle wave on the Positano coastline. Positano. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. Top notes are orange, mango, pineapple. Well, there you go. There's the fruity finish right there. It doesn't run away though with fruit. It really doesn't. It's like a Harry Slacken fruity finish, you know? And you would think with like orange, mango, and pineapple that, again, that would be incredibly sugary. And once again, I'm very impressed with the balance Yankee Candle is getting with handling their sugary like notes. It's very impressive. Very impressive. All right, your mid notes are coastal tuberose, rose, coconut, and sea salt. Your base notes are vanilla, amber, and tropical musk. Yeah, I like this candle. I mean, I like it way better than Capri Glow. If I didn't know about Sol de Janeiro, I would really like Capri Glow. Let me admit that right now. When I just breathe deeply and I try to shake my head away from Sol de Janeiro, it's actually really nice. It is very high, and of all the candles, it's very sweet. It's very sweet. It's almost sweeter than the lemon gelato, because as candied as the lemon gelato is, there's still some amount of tangy sourness from the citrus, whereas this Capri Glow has almost nothing to really cut the sweetness, with the exception of something which is kind of like sandalwoody. Sandalwood is basically the only thing cutting this, and there's not enough of it. It's very like high mid. Yeah, this one is impressive. This is impressive. I would put this behind Pistachio Latte, second best. Yeah, I really like it. It's a mid-range aquatic. I would say it's aquatic first, floral second, personally, with a fruity finish and a little bit of a kind of mineral. It's probably what they're calling like the tropical musk and the sea salt. A little bit of a mineral, almost seaweedy kind of pop. I like it. I like it. It's not like gonna blow anyone's mind or change anyone's life, but yeah, not bad. Last but not least, olive and cypress. And I don't know if this one is an online exclusive or not, but the wax melts were in the store, or maybe it wasn't the wax melts. It was the, you know, they're like, they don't have wallflowers, but whatever their equivalent of wallflowers is, that's what I smelled, the olive and citrus. So I don't, a cypress. All right, so last but not least, this is apparently a fresh and clean fragrance. The scent blurb says, stroll through Tuscany's magnificent forests, surrounded by the captivating fragrances of olive trees, rosemary, and lush cypress. Ooh, this is up my alley. Top notes are olive, pink peppercorn, and rosemary. Mid notes are avocado, coriander, fennel. Oh, man, this sounds great. Base notes, amber, moss, vetiver, cypress. Done. Where do I sign? Oh, this candle smells amazing on paper. Smelling the scent oils, I was a little less impressed with it, because I don't know that Yankee Candle did a great job. Oh, but this is the first time I'm smelling the candle. Maybe I am impressed with it. One of the things I will say, though, is that my initial thought is this smells like a candle that is going to not have very much strength and throw. So, disclaimer right there. Oh, this smells a bit more authentic and interesting than those scent oils did. I'm smelling the fennel. I am living for the fennel. I burned that really bougie candle last year at my birthday. What was it called? First Light by that bougie candle company. What was it called? La Montagne. Oh, I loved that candle. And it was a mountain candle that had a lot of these things in it. It had rosemary, it had fennel. It's in the same category. Obviously, this is like the poor man's version of it. I'm really liking it a lot. It's got this nice light ozone-y feel to it. There is a freshness. Ooh, and I'm getting the cypress too. it's like a cypress slash juniper, but it's super soft as opposed to like assertive and astringent and aggressive. Again, the balance on these candles is very impressive. They're modest candles, don't get me wrong. They're not like sophisticated in a luxury kind of way, but like I'm just very impressed with the balance on these. I'm looking at all of these scent notes on paper and I'm able to identify this is going to be a problem, this is going to be a problem, this is going to be a problem. And frankly, Bath & Body Works has treated many of these notes in a very kind of garish, ham-fisted kind of way. And I think I'm primed for that. I'm looking at these and I'm just like, oh gosh, here we go. Like bracing yourself as you lift the jar. Very impressive. Wow. Well, that is more unique than the Azure. Definitely more unique. Far less commercial. Not very sweet, but sweet enough. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, this is officially my favorite one, no question. It just is a little bit light, and I would like to see it be a little bit more assertive, especially in the base notes, actually. This kind of has those that telltale soy kind of quality to it, where it's like, it's giving you some sort of impressionistic mid-range, and you kind of feel as though you're only catching about a third or a half of the fragrance. That's a soy thing. Unfortunately, if it was true paraffin, I think these notes would be coming through more bold and more clear. Oh, that's nice. It's kind of like a couple of those candles from the Caribbean collection where I just smell and I'm like, oh, Yankee Candle. Hitting above its station in life right now. That is for sure, and its expectations. Wow. This is definitely the most acquired taste of all of these, the least commercial. High marks for that candle, even if it doesn't perform. Oh, I want to smell that all day long. I really do. Wow. Yeah, that's sophisticated. That's sophisticated. Yeah, it makes Azure Sky just kind of seem like one of those run-of-the-mill Bath & Body Works aquatic body cares, you know? But it's not bad. It's not bad. So all of them are commercial with the exception of Olive and Cypress. Azure Sky is, I think, the most, no, they're all commercial. They're all commercial. Azure Sky is the most Bath & Body Works-ish. Really nice, though. Really nice. Capri Glow is obviously a Sol de Janeiro dupe, so it's about as commercial as a Sol de Janeiro dupe would be. Pistachio Latte. Pistachio is a real trending fragrance note, and that is a winner of a latte candle. Winner. Definitely every bit as strong as the Toasted Pistachio from Bath & Body Works. Let's see how it performs. Lemon Gelato is not going to be everybody's preference, and it's probably not mine, but it's a very, very nice candied lemon lime with kind of a deeper, less sugary aquatic melon note to kind of cut the whole thing. But still leaving intact that kind of marshmallowed Easter candy kind of vibe that will travel very well into the summer with that stunning color. Again, I think it's a strong collection. I really do. It's got range. Yeah, it's good. It's good. What can I say? And like I said, better than the showing from Bath & Body Works over the last couple months. I've not been impressed with Bath & Body Works. And this collection is limited, it's thoughtful, it's just good. It's really good. Makes me happy. Now, I mean, all bets off when I burn. Who knows? Who knows, right? But yeah, that's really, really nice. I like all five. I like all five. I'm especially fond of the olive and cypress for obvious reasons. My second favorite would probably be the Pistachio Latte, which I very much like. My third favorite would be Azure Sky. And then these two, I like the Capri Glow, but I'm so played out with the Sol de Janeiro. And Lemon Gelato is not really my wheelhouse, but I'm tempted to keep it. I will keep it. I will keep it. Now, that said, I may not burn it until summer, you know, the way I did like that Caribbean collection, because I think this would be fantastic for June, you know? Whew, what a great candle for that. So I think I will keep it. I'm always looking for kind of an unexpected backyard barbecue fruity kind of candle to burn in the summer, which is not necessarily my wheelhouse, but just feels good seasonally. Last summer, that was for me the raspberry rosé candle from Bath and Body Works, which was so fantastic that I wouldn't mind burning raspberry rosé every summer. So who knows, maybe lemon gelato will be my like candle of the summer. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think I will. I'll hang on to it. Really great. Free shipping, $10.95. Thank you, Yankee Candle. It feels good to be able to say positive things toward every company. When you see a candle company doing a good job, it just feels so great. Do I think I'm going to be coming back in the next 4 or 5 months and being like, Yankee? Like, I can't even roll my eyes back far enough. You know what I mean? Like, they're just so inconsistent right now. But I suppose you would rather than be inconsistent than consistently terrible. You know what I mean? All right, that's what we've got. I'm going to link all of these down below. They look stunning in both the trash can and I think even more stunning in the apothecary, and they don't look bad in the 3-wick. And if you're concerned, as many of us are at this point, with almost every candle company concerned about strength and throw, I would go for those 3 wicks. And man, if you can get them at a good price the way that I did, and you should be able to, especially as the months go on. Yeah, I think I initially I can recommend them. Now, we'll have to see how they perform, you know, and I'll definitely get back to you as I do that. And I'll have in-depth reviews for all of those. Thanks so much for joining me, my friends. I'll catch you in the next one.